strong? Who wants to finish strong? Put an S in the comment section. Who wants to finish strong with me? Put an S in the comment section. And let me tell you, I was very tempted to kind of fly through the rest of the year and just finish and go on holidays. Who else was with me? And then I decided that I wanted to just do one last push where I come in, we talk about 2022. I'm going to spend the whole week talking about revenue. I've got all of my data here. I want to not just talk about revenue, but I want to blow your mind. I want to blow your mind on how it's possible to be able to never worry about revenue again. Who's excited about that? Put me in the comment section. Who's excited about that? So I'm gonna train a little bit differently than what I think you might expect. And the reason why is because before we can really talk about revenue, we have to talk about your mind first. Are you guys good with that? Can I just take a couple moments and speak about that? And it starts with this. Well, in order to go to the next level financially, we have to completely change the way that what we believe is possible, and we have to set our sights higher than we did before. So I'm going to talk about pricing today because it's an important piece. But before I talk about pricing, I want you to write down the word opinion. You must have an opinion. At the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, you have to have an opinion. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bring this over here. My little chart.
Hey Shannon, check your mic. Something's really fuzzy.
Oh, really? Is it bad? Is our mic bad? Hold on, let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me see. How about, give me 1 second.
Better, thank you.
Okay, but I just switched it. Is this okay?
Nope, you're still real fuzzy.
Okay, I'm gonna take it out. So it'll be a little echoey, guys. Sorry about that. We good? Can you hear me good? Yes? Tell me yes in the comment section. Okay, awesome. Instagram's like, we're fine. Okay, all good. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this conversation about opinion first, because you have to be completely okay with going after this conversation of opinion and knowing that people are not going to like you. Okay, so everybody great has an opinion, everybody rich has an opinion. You guys get that? Yes? And which means that there's going to be a lot of people who don't agree with your opinion. And are you willing to be okay with that in 2023 if it's going to create an overflow of cash? Yes or no? Are you willing to have people completely, including people in your lives, completely disagree with you and have a lot to say about the fact that your opinion is wrong in 2023 for the exchange of having an overflow of cash flow? Yes or no? Go in the comment section. Okay, so now think back when the beautiful virus took over. How many of you guys had somebody in your life that it was really hard to have a conversation with them because they had a difference of opinion than you? Okay, so let's get real before we get into revenue generating, okay? Anybody have that? So who was it? Was it your sister? Was it your brother? Was it your mom? Who was it that in your life that you could not talk about? My housemate, right? My sister, my son, my friends, my husband. Oh, that must have been tough, your husband. Friends, spouse, friends, clients, dad. Okay, I had it with my dad too. Where you could not have the conversation about the C word, the virus, right? And so you need to ask yourself right now, how did you respond to that? Did you fight? Did you just not talk about it? You avoided? And I want you to put this in the comment section. Did you fight? Did you avoid? Or were you relentless? Fight, avoid, or relentless. Fight, avoid, or relentless. I want you to put one of those 3 words in the comment section. Fight, avoid, or relentless around that topic. Instagram, and I'll see you moving, so you let me know too. Okay, I see relentless, 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 avoid, fight, fight, and then avoid. I love that. Relentless, relentless, fight, and relentless. Avoid, 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 relentless, bold, avoid. So the question was, when you had the person in your life that did not agree with you around the virus and how to deal with the virus, I promise it's all relevant. Did you avoid the conversation with the person that you care about? Or were you relentless, right, about saving their life, whatever side you were on? Or did you fight them? Like you end up getting in like full-blown battles with them, right? So fight, avoid, or relentless. All three. Okay, good. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to scroll up and look at the chat, right? And so look at the chat and see what the general consensus was. So if you were relentless, I would say you're already good at pushing an opinion. Okay, now, if your relentlessness ended up more in a fight more often, then there's some things we could do in your leadership. But I need you to be conscious of this, because when I talk about revenue generating activities, and especially today, I'm going to talk about pricing. In a recession, you must price different. And what we talk about today and what we talk about in January and what we talk about in February could possibly be very different, because the market's going to keep shifting. And as the market keeps shifting, we're going to have to change our leadership so that we can lead differently. Your thoughts come in and you lead, you take action. And when you don't take action, I'm going to unhook a bunch of you guys. One of the biggest reasons why people don't take action is because they're bored. They're bored. If I had to lead one program for the rest of my life and I was the manager on the program, I would eventually get it to optimize and then I'd be bored. And then what do you think would start to happen? I would start to not show up like a pro. And I would start to show up procrastinating, not very energetic. And so what I've learned over the years is that no matter what job I'm in, I have to stir it up. Like I have a list building training that I've been training for 10 freaking years. And I remember a time in my career that I was like, if I have to train this list building training again, I'm going to die. I was like, I'm going to throw up in my mouth. Like that's how bad it was. Like I remember almost choosing out because I was so tired of training the same thing. Anybody with me here? Put a B in the comment section if you've ever been bored with what you do for a living. Put a B in the comment section if you've ever been bored in what you do for a living. So here's the thing. Wealth comes from volume. And if you're going to create insane amounts of revenue, you've got to go past the B word and find something that gets you riled up. You know, maybe people say to me, Shanda, I just want to make a big difference in the world. Well, then there's no boringness, because it wouldn't actually matter what you sold, because what you sell is not as important as the people you serve. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? I'm starting to break this up for you, because I see more people creating new products and services all the time in their businesses because they get bored. Now, I'll tell you something. I got off a phone call. Actually, it was actually not a phone call. We were going back and forth on Messenger about Friday's training on the Revenue Challenge. This is the last 5 days I'm training this year. Whoop, whoop. And I'm going to attempt to not only teach you revenue, but to break open your mind so you don't make the mistakes that have you choose out because you're bored, not challenged. If you're not challenged, it's because you're not coming up with a vision strong enough to lead something up. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, so if you could sell the same product for the next 10 years, which I know could be very boring, you have to reinvent your leadership so that you can find meaning, which I find it in people, which means I have to create a vision for the people. You have to create a vision for your people that keeps you inspired. So does anybody know what my vision is right now? Any of you guys been following me on Shanda On Demands or anything like that over the last 4.5 months, 5 months? I've had this vision for entrepreneurs to create at least $25,000 in the bank by this month. Any of you guys do it? Did any of you guys put $20,000 or $25,000 in the bank? Thank you, Sherry, that remembers. Put a 20 or 20 plus in the comment section. If you did put $20,000 or more in the bank for the last 4 or 5 months of the year so that you're ready for first quarter of next year. How many of you guys did it? Put 20 or 25,000 plus, put it in the comment section. Let's see if you did it, okay? And if you didn't do it, it's totally cool because I still got your back. Put no if you didn't do it. Put no if you didn't bank 20,000 plus in the last 4 months for first quarter of next year. Now, let me follow you here. I'm going to show you how vision and your people, which let's call your people your buyers, right? This is this is why everything is leadership. This is so important. Because your people, this is why people push on who's your avatar, who's your niche, who are the people. And people get so backed up about this question because with love, we're always in a leadership, personal development conversation of it's all about me. And guess what? Wealth never happens all about you. When I focused all about me, I couldn't get myself to make decisions to make a lot of money because it was all about, am I happy? And the thing is about building companies and creating reoccurring revenue at a high level is it's all about your buyer. It's all about your buyer. So the vision I had was that our people are entrepreneurs, which are my buyers, right? How many of you guys work with entrepreneurs? Put E in the comment section, right? How many of you guys work with entrepreneurs? Put E in the comment section. So my vision that I picked this up about 4.5 months ago, 5 months ago, where I saw this window, and this is going to come down to your homework for today, okay? So make sure that you're really paying attention. Write the word homework down on a piece of paper. I saw this window. I want you to write down the word window. And I want you to think about the window that you see for your family. The window, so if you've got kids, what's the window for them? If you've got a spouse, what's the window for them? I'll explain this if you missed. You got buyers or future buyers, what's the window for them? Okay, because the window is what you sell to create revenue. But you don't just do it to create revenue. It's because you care that you start thinking like this. So the window I saw was first, maybe second quarter of next year, there's going to be a lot of owner finance in the real estate market. So I told our entire team here at Hardcore that I don't know if they'll listen to me or not, but I'm gonna be relentless because everybody wants more money, but an opportunity comes that a lot of times we don't do anything about it. You guys agree with me? A lot of times we don't. We pray for more finances, we meditate, we visualize, we do vision boards, we stand on our head, we will go to any seminar that will tell us we can chant this stuff in, and the truth is that there's so much opportunity around us all the time, especially now, to be able to get way ahead. But when I focused for the last 4.5 months, that's not just one Facebook Live or YouTube Live. I went 4.5 months where I was relentless. I went the whole month of June, by the way, where I showed people how to create $1 million years. Who is a part of that? Put million in the comment section if you're a part of that. I showed people how to create $1 million years, $1 million months, $1 million weekends, $1 million days. Okay, I showed it the whole month of June. I spent 3 weeks and I taught it 5 days a week. And that's when I started to push on this idea of get $25,000 in the bank. And if $25,000, I have my phone on Instagram, so I can't use my calculator. Suzanne, tomorrow make sure that I have a calculator, just like put that in my bonnet so I don't forget. Okay, so when you look at $25,000, thanks, Suzanne. When I look at $25,000, it's like, it's so easy to make that, but if you don't know how, then you could have just watched last June's on my Hardcore Business Facebook page or my Hardcore Business YouTube. You could watch the whole, you could binge watch it. And I gave so many different ways to do it, right? So many different ways to do it. And there's no how problem. The how to create $1 million year, $1 million 6 months, $1 million weekend, $1 million day. The how isn't the problem. You now can go to my Hardcore Business Facebook page or YouTube page, and you can find a lot of different hows. What's the problem? Our leadership. We don't do it. We do all the stuff. Am I right or am I right? Because we're going to break this week. Who's excited about breaking this week? Like, we're okay with being honest. We really want this more than we want our comfort. We want this more than we want to be right about all the reasons why these things can't happen in our life, which means you must shatter your thinking and grab onto, not only is this possible, it's real. Okay, so you say you need, or maybe not you, but people say they need the how-to. They don't need the how-to, they need the leadership. They need to be able to make a decision and follow through, even if they're bored, even if they have no money, even if it's not the right time, even if they don't have a supportive spouse, even if they're a temper tantrum walking behind closed doors, right? Like, even if the emotions are a mess, we need to be able to commit to something and go all the way through. So I want to encourage you, as we look at revenue this week, this entire week, that as I was developing out the curriculum, I changed the curriculum this morning for even the training I'm going to do on Friday, because I knew that a bunch of people didn't take my coaching, that I spent 3 weeks, 5 days a week teaching, which was how to create revenue. I'm going to do it again this week and come at it from a different angle. I just knew that some people wouldn't do the work, and we'd get to the end of the year and we wouldn't have cash in the bank for some of us. And so for some of you guys who have cash in the bank, know that first quarter and second quarter of 2023, I will be going live on our platforms, and I will be talking about how to multiply that money in a big way. Because revenue, I don't like the game of thinking. First of all, I think it takes entirely too long to make money and become financially free. So I like to make some money, and then I like to multiply it so that my money becomes the best employee, as my friend Sherry says, a way better employee than any employee, no offense, hardcore business, but than anybody I could ever hire, because my money can work for me, your money can work for you all night long and keep creating you revenue. And so for the people who didn't take my coaching and didn't create what I call runway money, which is extra cash and put it away because urgency wasn't important, and the world still thinks we're not in a recession when we are. And when that becomes a reality is when all of a sudden you lose your job, and you thought you were a linchpin, you thought that you were a rock star, but you threw attitude or you were going through a hard season and you got cut. And you can blame your employer all you want, but the truth is that we are responsible for our finances, our employers are not. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yes or no? And so we need to take back our power, and we need to say, you know what? If you have a job right now, you have a business loan, which is phenomenal. What are you doing with it? Are you just spending it on cute shirts, on a new car that's depreciating? Or are you glued to these trainings every single day and looking at what we're bringing forward so that you can multiply? So if you did create cash this year by watching our lives online, congratulations. We will get to that in January. I'm going to keep focusing on creating cash this week, okay? If you did not create cash, the Friday of this 5-day revenue challenge, I'm going to show you, and I said this to everybody in Hardcore, none of you guys should want to stay in the same neighborhoods you're in. Or if you're in the same neighborhood, I want you to up-level your homes. Okay, so real estate is, and this is not a real estate training. This is about who cares, well, as long as it's integrous. We want to take cash flow and we want to increase it, which means that for some of you guys with love, I have a leadership training, so I get personal development, okay? But there's so much of personal development that is all about us looking at ourselves at a level where we're like, but I want to do something that just I love. How about you do something you love, make a little bit of money, and then listen to my strategies so that you can invest it in things that just make your cash flow go up. Are you good with that? Yes? Yes, you should be good with that. So on Friday, I'm going to bring a friend on Friday that's going to show you how to multiply your money by being able to get homes owner finance. The owner becomes the bank. How many of you guys are worried that you couldn't get into a really nice house? You think it would be hard to get the owner to finance? The nicer the house, the easier. You know why? Because people who have money understand money. What would I do if I got $200,000 like out of a house. I sold a house, I made $200,000. I'm gonna go invest it. I'm not gonna have it sit in a bank account, because if I have it sit in a bank account, I'm losing money. So I don't want to just teach my entrepreneurs, you guys who are following here. I don't want you to just have a small game of growing a product or a program or just making some money off that stuff, because that's not what's going to create freedom. And I know that a lot of my peers are out there trying to teach financial freedom, and I'm in partnership with them online, because there's a lot of us who do really well, but none of us created financial freedom off the revenue we made from our businesses. None of us did. We took the money and we invested it in things like stocks or real estate, even when we didn't know what we were doing in those areas. And we partnered with smart people, but you have to catch a vision for yourself. I'm going to give you some revenue visions this week. I'm going to show you how to price your product, services, and things like that starting today. But I want you to break open your mind right now. And I don't want you to be frivolous. I don't want you to just go jump into the stock market and just buy shit. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to follow the revenue challenge this week. And I want you to think. And the most important thing that I want you to get is a vision for yourself, and don't chase the money. I want you to think you're a steward of the money. You want to put it in things that you genuinely make sense. So stocks are a little bit more foreign to me. So the girl that's going to come talk about how she taught herself how to do stocks, and by the way, the girl across the street from me, Angelina, she owned a furniture store. She knew that there was an opportunity to multiply her money, and she made well over $1 million in just last year, cash in the bank, by knowing how to buy stocks. And she was a furniture girl, and she thought it was for the smart people. So on Thursday, we're going to open up this idea about that. I recommend, even if you're not interested in that, that Thursday you come. Wednesday, I'm going to deal with some worthiness conversations, because so many people choose realistic goals, and I'm telling you, you'll take them all the way to the grave. And you'll spend more time worrying, where this week I want to wipe out worry. Who's excited about wiping out worry? Put a WW in the comments section. Who's excited about wiping out worry? So I'm going to plant this seed in your head right now, that this is the time to do it, because it's going to be a long time before you can be bad at real estate, bad at stocks, and still win financially. The market's down. The market is continuing to go down. We have property in a community here that I told everybody would go down to $3 and $4 million. That might seem like a lot to you, but this was a community that in an area that I live in here, that the cheapest home was 6.5 million. The average home was 15 to 20 million, and then you had 40 million above. Sarah Blakely has a place there, and Jesse Itzler, Chase Hero, a lot of powerful people have the owners of Ethereum, you know, the digital currency stuff. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, they're all in this neighborhood. And when you have what I call stupid money like that, y'all hang out in the same neighborhood. You guys get what I'm saying? I want all of us. I am going to up-level my neighborhood. Are you guys ready to up-level your neighborhood? First and second quarter of next year, whether you have money or you don't. The difference in you taking action on this is not what's in the bank. It's actually on your ability to lead a vision for yourself. That is literally what will have you not stop and overthink this. I'm into scripture, and the scripture calls overthinking double-mindedness. Right? Double-mindedness will cancel out any miracle. Money loves speed. If you're into the Bible, obedience loves speed. If you're into A Course in Miracles or Law of Attraction, then you understand the power of taking action. It's not just visualizing, you have to take action. You get what I'm saying? Like, all of the I know it is there. The difference between you doing it is actually your leadership. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about pricing for a couple minutes, but it is so important for you to have an opinion on what's smart for you. I recommend everybody at Hardcore Business that works for the company and everybody who watches Hardcore Business online to, at the very least, up-level your neighborhood. So the neighborhood that I said that the agents told me maybe I should consider a less expensive neighborhood. Not kidding you. The agent actually told me to go to a less expensive neighborhood because I kept saying, I'm not going to buy in this neighborhood because it's going down. And so the reason why I say that to you is I felt like she was talking down on me, like I couldn't afford it, which by the way, I couldn't. Right? Like it was way too expensive for me to come to the islands and spend $15 million on a home was way more than I had a vision for myself. We have a home in the coast of California. We have another home in Deer Valley. And, you know, and we bought a plane based on tax challenges in California. And I'm way ahead of the game that I ever thought I'd be in. Like way ahead. But that 10 million or 15 million or $18 million house was way over my head. But I caught a vision. And I said, you know what? This neighborhood's going to go down. Do you know a 5,000 square foot, 5-bedroom home with a pool in this neighborhood just went for $3 million a couple weeks ago? Do you know what I said? Ash is my husband. It's like, how did we miss that? But guess what? I'm going to tell you there's going to be more homes like that. And even though we can go get a loan and put down a big down payment, that's not the game that I'm going to play. The game I'm going to play is smart money, which I'm going to look to do owner financing. Why? Because I don't have to put large amounts of money out of my bank account, because I want to take that money and I want to multiply it in stocks, in other real estate deals, and I want to get the most, I want to spread my money out in the most powerful places I could ever imagine. Because I have a vision. Who has a vision for themselves right now? I have a vision. I'm riding this wave up. Who's riding the wave up with me? Put wave, right? I'm riding this wave up, right? I'm not going to sit in taking all my money and pop it into one place. I want to ride this wave up, which means you need to be connected to the right people. See, here's the thing with leadership. Leaders hang out with like-minded leaders. So if you want to sit at the tables of the people that have opportunities like this, they think differently, right? And that's why their kids and their family and their friends. Does anybody here have a friend that's a baller? Put baller in the comment section. Like this, truly a baller, right? Like it's like every time you sit with this person, it's like, oh my gosh, your son's a baller, right? That's awesome, right? 9 and 10 figure baller, amazing. Right? So some of you guys have ballers as friends. They think differently. The thing is that we need to not count ourselves out. Okay, don't count yourself out. You want to count yourself in the game, but it requires you to hang out with those people because the bigger the baller, the more generous. The bigger the baller, they have less concern about what people think about them. They are completely generous. They do things that make no sense to help people. They value relationship equity more than anything else because they got to become a baller because of the people they knew. And they have a deal flow that never hits your local real estate agent. Sorry, guys. It's very rare. I was one of 5 agents when the market crashed last time. I'm not an agent anymore. But I was one of 5 agents globally that we were getting real estate deals that we were getting paid 16% commission on. And we were selling property at 35, 40%. We were getting anywhere between 10 and 16% commission because of the tables that we sat at. We flew first class when it didn't make sense to fly first class so that we could meet people in first class to become our buyers. Right? It's all about the lead gen. So we partnered with big real estate investment communities so that we had the buyers. And once you have the buyers, you should write this down. Once you figure out your mind, the second thing you're always going to need is leads. Period. It doesn't matter how great your product is. If you don't figure out your mind to get at the right tables, live in the right neighborhood, that's the first thing. The second thing you need is leads. And so in 2023, you need to have two main focuses: mind and leads. Mind and leads. Those two things need to be on your revenue generating activities every single month. We're right now, the number one thing I can tell you that would be the difference between us going the next level is more leads. We already know how to sell. We know our products. We know our programs. We know everything. Doesn't matter how well we know our products and programs. If we got no leads, we don't have more leads or find ways to access more leads, we don't make more money. Doesn't matter how good we are. Doesn't matter if we tap dance on our head. It's irrelevant. We need more leads. You need more leads, right? And so you have to keep your mind right, but then you need to keep your leads flowing, and that needs to be a revenue generating activity every single week. It's the number one thing that I see people let go of because they don't want to focus on that. They want to focus on creating more stuff. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So as we're looking at 2023, I have a vision to help people finance their own homes. We're going to talk about that on Friday. I have a vision for all of us, including myself, to be trained by the person that's going to train me, that's going to be on here on Thursday. So Shannon, I can sit with you and show you how to do this. She goes, it'll take you about a year to get really good. But after that, it'll be completely in your wheelhouse. Think about that. Is there a university out there anywhere that says after a year, you'd have a license to make a lot of money? No. You go into debt. She goes, you'll make good, I'm sure you'll make good money throughout the year. She goes, it'll take you about a year to really kind of get it. You know, and she goes, but I can show you how to not make a bunch of mistakes during that year. On Wednesday, I'm going to talk about your mind. I'm going to have my friend Michael come, and he's going to get into your mind and push. Does anybody know Michael Strasner? I'm going to have him push up your worthiness conversation. He's been coaching me for probably 17 years. When he coached me when the market crashed last time, I did over $170 million in sales in real estate, which I had no passion for, no interest in, completely bored out of my mind. But we did $170 million in 15 months. That's getting your mind right. Okay, so I want to unhook you from this idea that we have to sell a business product as the only way to become financially free. Because depending on whatever state you live in, where do you guys live? Go in the comment section and tell me the state you live in. Okay, depending on whatever state you live in, Canada, Florida, Minnesota, New York, Oregon, Florida, Wyoming, Texas, Canada, Michigan, lots of Canadians, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio, Ontario, Canada, Nova Scotia, okay, California, Jamaica, awesome, we're kind of close, I'm in Puerto Rico. So depending on the state that you live in, whatever you make, you're paying taxes, right? Whatever's sitting in the bank account at the end of the day goes to some level of taxes. If you're in Florida, you might think you have less taxes, or Texas, you just pay different prices on your real estate. Or you have different sales tax for your states. If you're in Canada, you have GST, PST, X to Y T, like you got every T tax on the planet, right? And so most of us are playing a game of anywhere between 50 to 60% of our income. If you don't believe me, go look at, if you buy a house and you sell it, you're paying capital gains tax on it. If you die and you pass it on, you're paying taxes, right? You're in one big tax circle. That's why I moved to Puerto Rico. If I now pay myself a 4% tax and I have 0% capital gains tax on any real estate investing, any stock investing, so you can be willing to bet I'm going to learn stocks while I'm here, right? You can be willing to bet because I have a new vision. And I'm going to do the most I can over the 3 or 4 years that we live here to get not just ahead, but to get way ahead. And right now, I believe the market that we're in, I know you're probably like, when are you going to talk about business growth? I am. Because you need money to be able to keep growing your business. And for many of my clients, I showed them how to take one product that they can sell really well, and they want to sell 5 other products because they're inspired. But I'm like, if you could sell one product really well and you can get volume in it, and we could pull cash off of it to keep focusing on getting more leads, which means that machine is working and hopefully you don't get bored. And along the way, over the next year, we want to take you and get you to get a vision and start getting into the market and getting yourself way ahead. Who's excited about that with me? Put me in the comments. Who's excited about that with me? You're probably not. Is anybody else talking about this out there, you guys? I haven't heard anybody who's coaching business talking about this. We're talking a lot about how to build a funnel, how to price, how to create a membership site, how to do these things. The problem is while you're focused on that, the whole world is getting wildly rich. The wealthy, when everybody's freaking out and pulling back, they're going to be buying. And if you didn't do your due diligence and make cash, keep your eyes on our platforms, because I'm going to show you how to get other people's money to buy the things that you need. Are you guys excited about that? Because that's the game I'm playing. And I want to show you how to play it too. And I won't be the one teaching you on it. The people who are stewarding my cash flow will be the one taking care of some of your cash flow. But if you don't catch a vision to lead yourself to, you'll miss the opportunity. Get it? Yes? Okay. So let me talk about where I think is really important for you guys to focus on right now is your pricing. I'm going to switch this into red. When you look at your pricing for a recession, you need to be willing to pivot your pricing and not get stuck in this idea that your pricing is going to stay the same. Okay, so your pricing is not going to stay the same in 2023 for most of you guys, because the market's going to change. You're also, the second thing you need to think about is what is the vision that you're selling for your buyer. Example, some of you guys have heard me say this. When COVID hit, I stopped selling financial freedom. I started selling take action. It's where a challenge came up where we started to show people how to take action in 7-day, 14-day, 21-day, whatever, like challenges, because we had to hold people's leadership essentially in taking action on the things that they wanted. Because when I talked about making money, nobody wanted to make money when COVID hit. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So you need to have your ear on the news without getting obsessed with it. You have to have your ear on, I would actually say even more than the news, because the news can be very compelling and screw up your leadership. And I mean that with love, because if you get scared, you're not a good leader for your people, right? So you cannot get scared. So I don't have to worry about watching the news, because I hear it through Twitter, I hear it through Facebook, I hear it through the people that I have dinner with, I hear it everywhere. You guys, right? Like, it's like your iPhone pops up with the headlines, like, you know what's happening. And so I don't sit and watch the news, because I can't afford to get freaked out anywhere. I can't be enrolled by the news's vision, because it's like a soap opera. It's there to keep you, like, I don't need to know like who just got a divorce, and I don't need to know that stuff. I need to focus on what are the comments. So number one, write this down. I want you to today go look for people in your industry. Go look for people in your industry that you can go read their comments. And I'm going to recommend that everybody, like, they get a lot of comments, right? People get a lot of comments in your industry. Does everybody know somebody in your industry that gets a lot of comments? They got a good following? Yes. Okay. So I want you to make sure you're following them on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, wherever. I want you to not worry about what they're talking about. I want you to pay attention on what the comments say, because those are your buyers. And I want you to focus on patterns that you see arising, especially patterns of complaining, frustration, fear, anything that they are bitching about, okay? Anything that they're complaining about. That you need to take and start to develop a vision on where you want to take your buyer. Your vision is automatically connected with emotions. You get that? So how many of you guys like the idea of me finding you money and helping you get into a home that is a nicer home than you ever thought was possible at a deep discount? How would you like me, what's the feeling that you get when I say, I'm going to find the money for you, I'm going to negotiate the deal for you, and I'm going to negotiate a deeply discounted piece of property that's going to get you way, way ahead. Way ahead is my theme. Way ahead. I don't want just, and I want way ahead, right? Yeah, it feels good, fired up, hopeful, motivated. Yeah, some of you guys who are hopeful, you're gonna be shocked what I'm already putting together for you, right? You're gonna see it unfold in front of your eyes. I've spoken about it publicly, and you will see me actually do what I say I'm gonna do. And some of your lives are going to change massively first and second quarter of next year, even if you didn't take care of yourself to apply the actual the opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're not ready, I've got you. Even if you're not ready, because I know that 90% of the people I've been talking to are still not ready because they don't take it seriously, and that's okay. That's trauma. And we got to get that leadership in check so that when you're stewarding incredible amounts of finances, that not only do you feel grateful for that and thankful, but that you rise up for the challenge. Okay? So excited, blessed, yes, transfer of wealth. So when you when you look at other people in your industry, I want you to not get obsessed with you're not as good as the other person. Do you guys get what I'm saying? This is what we're going to handle on Wednesday. Like clean the filters. Like, I don't care what they sound like, what their Instagram looks like. I don't care how perfect they look. I don't care how good they speak. I don't care how many New York Times bestsellers they have. None of that matters. I care about their comments. And I want you to spot the pattern. And then what is the opportunity? What's the vision in the window for your buyers to take action? What's the window? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Yes? So the window I see for you, what's the window? You should write that down. The window I see for my buyer is. The window I see for my buyer is. That's what you need to repeat constantly. Think about this. In June, I started focusing on not just cash flow, but on $20,000 to $25,000 in the banks of my entrepreneurs. I saw a couple of people did it. But I focused on that. It was a through line all half of this year. That through line is a window, and I kept talking about it since June, if you followed any of our stuff online. And I wanted people to get ready for the collapse in the real estate market, even when everybody said it wasn't going to happen. They all said it wasn't going to happen, and it's happening. Right? It's happening on the coast in California. It's happening in Puerto Rico. It's happening everywhere. What's the window you see? That window is your through line, and it has a vision. The reason why this vision is in a window is the window gives it urgency. This is why leaders succeed and other leaders don't. It's the reason why people buy from you or don't. Is not, there's a million people who teaches people how to fall in love. There's a million people who teach people how to do a YouTube channel. There's a million people who teach people like trauma therapy. You get what I'm saying? There's just, none of us are unique with love. What makes us unique is what's the window you see for your buyer, and that window creates urgency, which so many people are worried about. I don't get enough traction, or I don't get enough buyers. No, it starts with your leadership. You won't have any issue on making money if you think like this. People buy from leaders that they believe that the window they're talking about, which creates urgency, is exactly the vision that they should be stepping into. I don't care if I am selling a fitness product. I would not be selling weight loss. I would be selling stress relief right now. Right? Like, you're stressed out, you have high anxiety, I would be pushing on that. Now, to check that, I would go look at comments. And I would see, do I spot a pattern? Are you guys following me? I know this is very unique, but nobody teaches you how come they're successful in their business. It's their leadership. It is not just the funnel. We just helped somebody develop a funnel that thought she'd have 300 people in an event. She had 700. Her leadership is phenomenal. Now I have 3 other clients that want to go do the exact same funnel. But let me tell you, those 3 other people do not have the same leadership as the person that just created that result. They're awesome. Be the same team that builds it out. All that will be the case. But when you open up your mouth can't run away from you. And what's amazing is if you stop focusing on you and you start following through. Who has a follow through challenge? Let's be honest in this challenge, because I can't help you unless I know. Who has a follow through challenge? Put me in the comment section. Okay, so follow through is tough if you don't have a strong enough vision for your buyer, because now you're trying to sell a product, and products don't sell. Leaders sell. Products don't sell, leaders sell. Right? How many of you guys know Russell Brunson or Suzanne Evans or Chalene Johnson? Why do these people keep winning? Because every time they open up their mouth, people are like, oh, that's why I need to do this now. It's not what they're selling. It's how they're leading what they're selling. So the people who jump in get on that energy. Do you know what I mean? Like they know where they're going with the product. And when they know where they're going with the product, they also get higher success rates in those communities, right? We right now in anybody ever done our HCL, our Hardcore Leadership Program? Put HCL in the comment section. We have 99% success in that program. 3 years, 99% of the people who go through that training actually follow through, hit their goals. Am I right or am I right, you guys who've done HCL? Right? Put the result that you got, right? Like, what did you create? Put it in the comment section, what you actually created. So when you look at that, you're like, why? So how can you have 99% of people succeed in a program? Because 100% we get them in their leadership. So when you look at your products or services, if you want to create amazing revenue, you have to start with this, and you have to trust yourself. And if you're not enrolled in the window that you're selling, which creates urgency for your client, if you're not enrolled in that window, then you're not going to sell well. And so where do you go? Back to the pattern. What's the pattern I see in the comment section? If you could just pour yourself a glass of wine, or pour yourself a cup of coffee, or pour yourself a greens juice and get obsessed with just doing that work for 30 minutes, if you put 30 minutes into that work, I would be willing to bet that you're going to catch something that catches you on fire. Then the question is, can you stay committed to that, to bring enough people across that line to create that result? And the answer is yes, we have a successful revenue plan. And I would say, walk through being bored with it, not being bored with it, and just spend the next 10 years of your life selling it. You're like, oh my God, that sounds like torture. Only for my commitment phobics. But you need to be committed to be able to make a lot of money. You got to be committed, okay? So let's talk about pricing for a second. I'm going to recommend as little payment plans as possible for 2023, at least for the beginning, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is revenue is important. And the whole reason why we're doing 5 days of revenue generating this week is because if you have no revenue, it sucks. And so if you're the bank and you're financing, how many of you guys are a coach in here? How many of you guys are a coach, or a consultant or a teacher, like coach, consultant, teacher, anything like that? Okay, so many of you guys do payment plans, right? Am I right or am I right? And so I'm gonna recommend that really all of you guys look at how can you manage your cash flow by reducing payment plans right now. So what do you need to do? You have to ask yourself, do you need to, because remember, cash is king, cash is queen. Remember the vision. The vision is that you can create cash so you can multiply it. Some of you guys have already forgotten about the vision, because we have a market that you're going to be able to multiply and get way ahead. And if you follow our platforms, you're going to see me bring things up, and you will be able to pick and choose what's important to you based on your vision. Is that cool? Yes. So when you're making your decisions, I'm not in your ear. So you've got to catch this vision, know why you're doing this. So instead of being like, well, I want to do a payment plan so I can sell more people, I would rather you think, I want to create a cash plan. And the reason why I want to create a cash plan is because pretty much the entire globe is on sale and is going more on sale right now. And you want to get the global sale. Okay, which means that we want to have any amount of cash as we can in the door. And believe it or not, you're gonna be able, some of you guys are gonna be able to buy beautiful homes for like $6,000. Isn't that crazy? Right? It's like, how many of you guys have spent that on a coach, right? Or on a car? Imagine getting into a discounted property that's beautiful. And I talk about riding that Rolls Royce back up in value, which means that we don't want to be thinking, this is why you got to get the mind right first. I'll be thinking, what can I afford to get into? I want to be thinking about, how do I stretch my money more? I'm going to teach you that this week. Okay, I'm going to stretch your mind. So if everything's on sale, I want to get a cash plan. I don't want to be the payment plan. Now, I do have some payment plans. Okay, so, but I'm doing everything I can not to sell payment plans. Because why? Because people don't keep their commitments. They just don't keep their commitments. If you've ever bailed on a product or program, even with a coach or consultant, you're in that box. Right? You got a leadership breakdown. You have an integrity breakdown. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm saying it needs to end now. Right? You've got to get your leadership up so that you don't operate like that. But the problem is you're still selling to the same world I am. You get it, my friends? And so that group of buyers are out there. And so if you're the bank, I like you being the bank in the essence of if you're getting interest, but right now, if you don't have a bunch of cash, I would rather you create a cash plan, which means the less likely for you to be the bank, the better. The less likely for you. So what would I sell at? So when I look at pricing, I would sell it anywhere between $1,500 and $5,000. So now I want you to make some decisions. Does that mean that you have to take, I'm going to take a coach as an example. You don't have to be a coach, but say I have a $10,000 coaching program. I don't know, maybe I could sell 6 months of it instead of 12 for $5,000 and do a pay in full, no payment plan. Maybe I could sell it. I did this. Might never do this again, but I sold in our year-long program. I did a challenge, and I sold our $12,000 coaching program for 6 months for $2,500. It was absolutely insane. But what am I doing? I'm willing to take the discount and take less money because I'm watching my cash plan. See what I'm saying? So your buyer gets hooked up. Your buyer gets hooked up and you get the cash. Anybody's mind starting to go, uh-huh? So I want you to be thinking about, even if you're brand new in business, how many, so you might do something for $1,500. You're like, oh my God, nobody would buy it for $1,500. Just try making the offer without offering a payment plan. If somebody kind of goes, oh, you know what? Like I'm talking to Danielle and she says, Shen, I really want your bike. I really want your bike exercise class, but $1,500 is a lot. Add bonuses. What can you add? And this is why understanding the window that you're actually selling, what can you add as a bonus that would hook them up based on where you know they need to go? Okay, for some of you guys, you're gonna need to re-listen to this. Okay, like I can teach you all a framework that you can't do shit with, or I can actually teach you how to get way ahead right now. And you need to be focusing on cash plans. Okay, so somebody said they have a payment option such as PayPal or Pay Later. Do not use that, Angie. I have a client who used that years ago. She's like, oh my God, she had all these sales and nobody paid. Okay, so do not make it easy on your client by telling them to go to Pay Later and things like that on PayPal. I'm telling you, don't do it. It's more than you just getting the yes, you need the cash. Okay, so add bonuses. Let me ask you a question. If I told you guys I would coach you for 4 months and it would cost you, let's just say, it would cost you $5,000 to coach in 4 months. And in 4 months, I can make sure that you follow through, you get out of your own way and you create the results you want. And if you don't, then I would give you back your money. How many people would be a yes? If it was to be $5,000, you'd have to get it right now, right? Like how many guys, for real? If I was going to drop a link right now and said, you give me $5,000, I will coach your leadership. I will coach whatever result you put up. And in 4 months, you'll create the result. And if you don't create the result, I'll give you your money back. How many would say yes? What's great about that deal? It's safety. It's secure. It makes the client, the bonus was actually like a no risk money deal. That was actually the bonus of that, was a no risk money deal. In addition, there was urgency, which was 4 months. And I told them the price, which was $5,000. And I didn't say a payment plan. Now, one of the things I love to do, and I do this a lot recently, is I will hook people up with a one-on-one coaching session if they pay the full thing. Right? Now you have to think, what would be your world? Right? If you're spiritual, not religious, you would help create a year-long vision board with them. Maybe you do it in a group format. Maybe if you're, a weight loss person, you would give them what I call pocket coaching. You give them 60 days of daily pocket coaching to be in their ear to hold them accountable. What do you need to do to create security and safety for your buyer? Because that's what everyone's going to be selling. As the media flips over to tell everybody that they're in a recession globally, you're going to be selling safety and security in your bonuses. Do you get that? Yes, do you get that? So if you can think like that versus spaghetti up against the wall, what would make them feel more safe in creating the result that I have committed to help them get? If you can add the bonuses around that, you're going to have full-blown payment. You're going to have full-blown people actually will find the money. There's so much cash out there right now, I can't even tell you. Okay? Now, could you offer a payment plan with this? 100%. But you better add interest. Because you need to start thinking, if you're the bank, you need to be making money on lending money. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, you need to think differently. Instead of thinking, I just need to get a sale, you need to be thinking like a leader that people want to be with. And by the way, when that's on you, do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, when you wear that on your personality, people feel safer with you. Because there's something with that. There's something with self-worth that people feel like, oh, it's okay if you don't have good self-worth. On Wednesday, we're going to handle that. Okay, on Wednesday, we're going to take over that. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on cash flow. Today, we're focusing on pricing. We're focusing on some homework around this. I'm going to kind of shift gears and we're going to end the live in a couple minutes here. But today, I need you to think about what are you going to, like what price point? I don't even need you to know what you're going to sell. Because tomorrow, I'm going to talk about what to sell and we're going to have a cash flow day. But I want you to just, when I go to figure out my revenue, I grab a calendar and I make revenue goals based on price points I'm going to sell at. So if I want to sell more, I will have a deeper discount. But I got a cash plan focus. And you'll see it all over our platforms. Every time I make an offer, you should always make an offer. Every time you go live, every time you send out emails, people think that they should not make offers all the time. How many of you guys would have loved me to have made that offer where I work with you for 4 months for $5,000, right? And if you didn't hit your result, I'd give you back your cash. Yeah, it's not my offer, but that would have been a great offer. Like when I said that, I was like, shit, I need to go back and create that offer. That's a great offer, right? That's a fantastic offer. Because at no risk, it was 4 months. However, if you were to pay the $5,000, I give you a one-on-one. Now, I'd have a vision for that one-on-one. Why? Because I'm going to look at a window. So a vision for a one-on-one that I could see right now. How many of you guys would love to figure out your monetization plan for the first 90 days of 2023? Like if I was to put your calendar together for 90 days, this is where and at what price point I would sell at. See what I'm saying? The comments are going yes. right? So I don't just say, with the $5,000 offer, there's a one-on-one session. I don't say that. I take it all the way through to a vision of this is what we would work on. Now, if you can't afford the $5,000, you could do 3 payments of X. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Notice I didn't do 12 payments, 6 payments. Why? I'm working off a cash plan. Only because we are in a recession, my friends. Now, how does this hook up your customer or client? And I'll end on this. You got to enroll your own leadership on these plans. Do you get it? Like, because you have to feel strong and convicted when you speak this. So you got to do the mental work on feeling like this is great for your client. So I think things like the last offer I made, I thought, oh my gosh, they could run in my program for 6 months and not have a payment. I teach entrepreneurs predominantly, right? So I'm thinking, imagine not having any payments on your business for 6 months. No coaching, no consulting, no anything. It's just paid. It's like prepaying your rent or prepaying your mortgage and not having a mortgage payment for 6 months or a rent payment. Do you guys feel the space on that? Yes? Can you feel the space on that? Yes or no? Mary, Sylvia, right? Like, do you feel the space on that? Starlet, right? Amanda. Yes, you can feel the space. So when I went to make that offer, I shared that visual. Do you see how important vision is in your leadership? You can't just know it's a good deal for your customer or client or your buyer. You must articulate it. That's what makes you the leader that people will say yes to, because people can feel safe when you can see their win. When you can't see their win or you don't articulate their win, then you're out in left field. Okay, so we covered a lot today, did we not? Yes? Did we cover a lot? Okay, so let me give you some homework. Woo! I feel like we've been like in it. Okay, so let me give you some homework, okay? So this week, I'm gonna give you some homework right now. This week, we're gonna focus on cash tomorrow. I'm gonna have homework and I'm gonna stretch you tomorrow. You good with that? Yes or no? Okay, so come on, Amanda. I don't want just a smile. Are you good with it? Are you gonna take it? Okay. So I'm gonna stretch you tomorrow to actually generate cash. Okay, because to go through, even if you don't know what to sell, who are my newbies? Like, you're brand new in business, put new. Who are my newbies? You're brand new in business, put new. Okay, so awesome. So think of this like charades. You're just gonna go out and you're gonna make money tomorrow. Who are my people who've been in business for a while? Put a B. You've been in business for a while, put a B. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna stretch you. I'm gonna stretch both of you. Everybody, can we make a commitment to make money tomorrow? I don't care if it's $25 or $25,000. Okay, so, and I'm gonna run the day a little bit different with some pocket coaching tomorrow. I'm gonna create a pocket coaching when I hang up. I'm gonna go to VIPs in a couple minutes and we're gonna debrief this and go deep. Okay, that's the cool thing about being part of VIP. If you're not part of VIP and you're watching right now, I have no idea how for you to get connected with VIP. I'm gonna ask my team to drop something to get them connected with VIP, because VIP is one of the best opportunities where I'm gonna jump on a Zoom now. Some of you guys are watching this 5-day revenue challenge online, but VIP is going to go deep with me on the Zoom. And always there's massive breakthroughs, right? Like, they will create more revenue than anybody else, hands down, this week, because we can get intimate. And I take off my inspired voice and I get into their work and start, so it's just a different game. So if you're not part of VIP, you want to be part of VIP, put VIP in the comment section. My team will see you if you put VIP in the comment section. If you're on Instagram, you can send me a direct inbox message, say VIP, and our team will go and see if they can help you get connected with VIP either tonight or with tomorrow. Okay, you guys in VIP don't go anywhere. Stay right here with me. Awesome. Thank you, Keith. So tomorrow we're going to talk about cash. We're committed to creating cash tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to be tough on you, and I want you to do the work. Okay, and then the next day we're going to work on your mind, and Michael's going to come and help me with that. He's been coaching me for 17 years, so he's who broke me into the $100 million mark. Okay, like for sure, if it wasn't for his coaching, I was a wallflower. I was a girl who I can't even, it was just like, I didn't even take up space in a room, right? And so he's who got my leadership unhooked from that. So he's gonna come in on Wednesday on that. On Thursday, Thursday and Friday, we're gonna talk about multiplying money. For some of you guys, Thursday and Friday is gonna be the thing that gets you to stop procrastinating anywhere. Because you're gonna catch this vision that you stop not following through. And honestly, so much of the reason why people don't follow through or they got perfectionism issues is because your vision's just not strong enough. And people can keep saying that to you all day long, but it hasn't clicked yet. And so Thursday and Friday, I think will be really powerful for that. Monday, I'm doing something really special. We just kind of added this on to this challenge. And on Monday, I'm gonna bring my friend Dan Fleischman. Does anybody know who Dan is? I'm gonna bring Dan Fleischman. I just saw him in Florida and I was like, dude, like, can you come? Because I'm gonna go spend time with Dan. I'm heading out to California. I'm gonna go spend time with him on his ranch. And we're gonna be talking about like investing on a whole different level, right? And Dan sits in and helps businesses like mine and yours. If he sees you're a top leader, like he just helped a teacher. He just knew this teacher had what it took to not give up on herself. And so he got behind that teacher and blew her up, right? That's what he's in the process of doing right now. And so he looks for leadership. He doesn't look for like big ideas or that. He looks for leadership. Is this person going to have period cramps and not show up to a phone call? For real. Or is this person their dog's going to pass away and all of a sudden they're going to need to take the day off? And I know that sounds heartless. I really do. But I'm telling you, I have miscarried on stages. I know that's horrible. I have had, my fiance cheating on me and still had to get up and go do an event. And that's leadership. Leadership says that I'm not more important than you. And if I said I was going to show up to a Zoom call, or I said I was going to do a workshop, or I said I was going to do anything like that, you can count on me. And nobody backs financially a person that doesn't have that leadership in them. You know what I'm saying? So here's your homework for today. Your homework for today is are you guys in the Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group? Yes or no? Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group. Okay. So if you're not, send me a direct inbox message somewhere. At VIP, if you're not, we'll hook you up with a link, okay? In the Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group, I'm gonna ask you to go in there today, and I'm gonna ask you to do some homework. And the homework that I'm asking you to do is to talk about in a paragraph, just a paragraph, my client is X, or my future buyer is X, if you're just starting. And the window I see for them right now is this. Like, what's the opportunity? The window I see for you as an entrepreneur is I can show you how to make a little bit of money and make a lot because I can get you into the right deals because I sit at those tables. I have the relationship equity to do that, right? And so the opportunity I see is I can shorten your opportunity. I can shorten your time. So you can be 60 years old and still experience an insane amount of wealth in your life. Right? And so I can negotiate that. I've got that vision. I'm on it. I'm negotiating it. I'm in relationship with the people. It's coming. Right? And so what I want you guys to do is go in your Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group. And I want you to talk about your buyer. This is my buyer. I got it, you guys, Suzanne. This is the buyer. And this is the window I see for them right now. And I want you to put it in the Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in that Facebook group and I'm going to give $1,000 to somebody who I can feel your heart. I have $1,000, call it your Christmas money. Maybe you're going to buy your grandkids Christmas presents. Maybe you're going to buy yourself something. Maybe you're going to pay for your whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I love Christmas. I'm obsessed with Christmas. And I would like to reward somebody who goes all in. So I want to know, here's who my buyer is, and here's the window I see for them, right? And I want to see, I want to see, do you really have a vision for them? Or is it like, my vision is that they're gonna lose weight by, by the end of January? That's boring to me. But if it's my vision is for moms to be getting back active, and for the month of January, they're working out with their kids, right? And the window I see is starting the year off where you've got bonding and time so that the moms don't feel guilty because they're stretched in so many different ways. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for, because you can't sell shit if you don't have a compassionate vision for your people on how to use your product or service. That's why they buy from you, is that. You guys all clear? Yes? So I want you to go in the Coach Yourself Success Facebook group. Somebody's going to win $1,000 because you cared enough about your people to actually go in there. And then there's some people who are not going to go in there because they're like, I couldn't be bothered, I'm too busy, and you were probably the one who was going to win. And that pattern needs to be broken. So I'm going to end on this. We have a very, very, very exciting opportunity for you guys. I'd love to share it with you guys. Are you good with this? Yes or no? So right now, I think it was 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, I had enrolled over 100 of our clients into a leadership training. And when I rolled them into this leadership training, I didn't own the leadership training. And when I rolled them into it, they went through it and they started creating great results. And I still was left with a ton of clients and customers that were expecting me to hold their leadership to be able to create the results for them. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Which is absolutely impossible for Freedom to be a mom, a wife, a businesswoman, travel. I'm spending the whole month of June over in Ireland and Portugal and all those type of places to grow a company that gives you time freedom and money freedom, and to be able to create lots of cash flow. It takes to be a dynamic leader. So instead of partnering with that company anymore, what we did 3 years ago is we took it over because we felt like we could do it better. And we've done a phenomenal job at it. The majority of the people who are in that training, my mom, by the way, did it. When I didn't own it, I actually tried to get her to do it. It took me, I think it took me 13 years to get my mom to do this training. And you know what she said to me? She said, everybody should do this training. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. But I didn't style flex well enough to be able to get my mom to do it. So in this leadership training that we now own, I would love to hook you up. Are you guys good with me hooking you up? You're not going to see this again. Like, this is just, I haven't even made an offer for this other than to our clients. We hook them up at their mastermind, but I'd like to hook you up if you're interested in possibly doing our leadership training. So I'm just going to take 2 seconds and share this with you. Our leadership training is on joinhclnow.com, joinhclnow.com. We have a Christmas special on it. It's available right now. Here's what's in it. Payment plan, right? I'm doing the same thing that I'm teaching you on. There is 3 days in vision, and you know how important vision is for yourself. This is for yourself, but it is also for your business. It's for your families. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to do this, although there are a lot of entrepreneurs in here, pro athletes, C-level executives, but there's also some moms and dads in here and some grandma and grandpas in here. It's just predominantly our ideal customer client, which are entrepreneurs, pro athletes, and executives. And so in this program, it's 3 days as vision. It's all virtual. The next training isn't until January. I would say the opportunity or the window that you have right now is, if you have an intention to have the best year in 2023, I absolutely, without a doubt, without any level of hesitation, can tell you that this training gives you a massive security blanket to do this. It's not that you don't have the time to write that book. It's not that you don't have the money to be able to go live close to your grandchildren or your children. All of that is not true. When we lack resourcefulness, we lack leadership. When we feel overwhelmed or frustrated, that's because we hit a cap on our leadership, right? And so there's a million things I could talk about with this. Before I owned it, my husband and I would not have been married if it wasn't for this training. I broke up with him 17 times in one day, okay? So I also could never have created over $100 million in sales if it wasn't for this training, and now be able to create $1 million days, right? So big, big, big deal. Not to mention over 1,200 clients every single month come into our ecosystem. That is not because I'm just a rock star business. It's because I have focused on my leadership. And it all bases from this training. So vision, if you can imagine vision like this eggshell, this is my version of an eggshell, and there's an eggshell around you and you're cracking. And the number one thing I think people get really frustrated about is like, what is my mission? What is my movement? I mean, people can't even make a decision on their niche or their avatar or what they want, right? If I ask you, what do you want? So often it's like, well, I don't know. Nobody's asked me that for so long. Right? There's controllers, there's supporters. Supporters, it's like they've been watching everybody else succeed and they've been their support. It's time for you to be supported. It's time for you to be on the front line so that you create the results that you want. You spent a lifetime helping other people do it. Controllers, it's like, listen, there's only so long that you can bulldoze with love, but also there's only so much time that you can keep putting all the weight on your back. Right? You have to learn a new leadership quality so that you're not always the one driving the ball to the end field, right? And creating the results. And then there's promoters. You are amazing. You light up a room. You're like, hi. The thing is that you kind of second guess yourself because so often you lose steam. You don't follow through or you don't have the authority of other people because they know that you get excited about everything. However, I don't want you to lose that excitement. That excitement is super important and it's what leads great rooms of people. It's what leads great movements, but you need to know how to style flex into your controller and your supporter so you can hear people to be able to lead whatever movement you're trying to do on the planet. Now, analyzers, my husband's an analyzer. And by the way, you don't stand in just one quadrant. I used to be a promoter and a controller. Now I'm almost completely balanced because I've built myself in leadership. My husband, the analyzer, now wakes up in the morning. This is for some of you guys who have an analytical person that you feel like is skeptical in your life. My husband now wakes up in the morning and says, good morning, like a promoter. Because when he didn't do that, it used to drive me nuts until we both worked out our leadership. So my point is that analyzers, controllers, promoters, supporters, whatever quadrant you are, the truth is that just isn't who you are. You're so much more. And as you learn how to style flex into these pieces, and you go through the first 3 days of vision, which starts in January, and if you can't go to January, you can go to February. It's not a big deal. But in January, we're going to take you 3 days. It's 3 long days, by the way. Like you can't do anything else during those three days. But we're going to crack the hole in your egg. And you're going to catch an insane vision. Talk about good timing. An insane vision for your 2023 that I am confident will light your life on fire. You will have a very, very strong runway of whatever you put your attention towards that you're going to go after it all in. We have a 99% success rate right now over the course of 3 years. That's, you go find another program that has that. That's pretty epic. There ain't no hiding with, I've signed up for things in the past and never got my results. Yeah, that's not relevant here, right? That's not relevant here. So you go through vision, which is 3 days. We get you fired up where you're ready and you see where you're going. There's nothing worse than working and having like, it's like you're bored or not even bored. Maybe there's a lot of you guys bored right now because it keeps coming up, but it's like, you know, when you don't know where you're going, all of the personal development crap needs to be handled. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Like, you know that you don't follow through, you know you don't use your voice, you know that you don't commit all in, whatever it is for you. That is just a sign that your vision is not strong enough. So vision, the 3 days in vision pops that open so you're ready to go. Now, the second part is you've got 4 days of breakthrough. Breakthrough, and guys, this is literally my obsession with Christmas. That's why it's here. Okay, breakthrough is 4 days. It's usually about a week and a half to 2 weeks later. And in breakthrough, and if you guys are on Instagram and you don't know where to go to joinhclnow.com. Let me put that here. Joinhclnow.com. I see people asking. Joinhclnow.com. Okay. So after breakthrough, now you're ready to crush it. So the cool thing is you can have that complete in January. You've done vision, you've done breakthrough. You cannot work during that time. You get to stay in your house. All of that's great. But now you're ready to go after it. So now this is where your results happen. We have a third level called practice. And this third level of practice is basically 90 days, approximately 90 days. And in those 90 days, you're gonna set a massive target. So how many guys want more money? Put money in the comment section, right? How many guys want money? Put money in the comment section. So how much do you want? Right? Like, I'm a big fan on taking whatever year-long goal you have for finances, put it into 6 months. Well, guess what? Take your year and put it into 90 days. Put us up for the challenge. We'll coach you into it. We have a 99% success rate. And that's exactly how I would lead it. I would say, what do I want to create in a year? Obviously, I don't believe I can create it in 90 days, but I don't need to believe it to be able to succeed at it. I actually just need to be willing to be courageous. If I'm willing to be courageous and go after it, the coaches on our Heart Grow leadership team are going to go after it in 90 days for you, which means that as big as you play you're going to have an insane quarter. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you put a big goal up in there, it's going to be a pain in the ass. But imagine, follow me here. Imagine if you could take your year-long goal and do it in 90 days. Yeah, sure, it might be really tough. You might stretch like crazy. But how content would you be? I mean, I would do the program all over again just for that. How content would you be after that 90 days of turning yourself inside out and seeing what you can really do? You will never have another group of people that are this committed to creating results with you, meaning that you can't hide. They will show up to your house if they need to. They will call you on repeat. They will not allow you to be in a temper tantrum. They are going to literally fight for whatever goal you put in practice for you to hit it. And our coaches as well, because they don't want to have a breakdown of you not hitting your goal, because if you don't hit your goal here, you don't graduate. See, in this program, because we're competitive, you can finish it. Everybody can finish it. As long as you go to the graduation of practice, which is the third level, you finish. But in order to be a graduate of our HCL program, you must actually hit your practice goal. How exciting is that? So here's what I want to share with you. This entire program is a $5,000 program. For right now, if you go to joinhclnow.com, you could either do it for $2,400, plus we'll give you a one-on-one plan for 2023. I would recommend that you do that plan right after you do breakthrough. I would not recommend that we do that plan right now. However, if you want to, we would honor that before Christmas. I would recommend you take that one-on-one after you're done breakthrough, and that we pre-set it up this year so we're ready to go. And you already have that on the books for next year, so you know when that session is. That session should plan your VSP, which is your goal for practice, but also what's most important for you to hit in 2023, right? That would be a very, very smart way to lead yourself in this process. If $2,400, remember, this is a $5,000 program, and when people go through it, they can invite their friends and family, but they still pay $3,700 as a student. You see what I'm saying? So for you to do it right now, it's $2,400, or if I'm going to finance it for you, it's 3 payments of $997. So it's either 3 payments of $997. You go to joinhclnow.com, joinhclnow.com. This is available today on this challenge. If it's important for you to get the support first quarter of next year to create the results that you want, it's $2,400 plus you get a one-on-one coaching session. I really would recommend that you do that after you finish the breakthrough course. You're just a different person at that point, okay? Or if you need me to finance you, it's 3 payments of $997, and there will not be a one-on-one coaching session, okay? So it's 3 payments of $997 or 1 payment of $2,400 with a one-on-one coaching session. Joinhclnow.com. Okay, so I'll end on this. You have great homework. You've got your marching orders. We're going to give $1,000 out. If this course sounds like something that would create an extra level of security, which it will, 100% will. There is nobody in my life. I had a friend that I enrolled last year. It saved her marriage. She's been to, I don't even know how many counselors, and it never worked out. You know what I mean? It was not a good scenario. I've seen people that got divorced, got remarried. I know if you've gotten divorced, you're like, I don't want that. I get it. However, it is really powerful to see how much we get in our own way and how many things fall apart because we don't know how to lead it. I've seen families reunite. I've seen people, I mean, I made a declaration that I was going to meet my husband 90 days. I didn't even have a date. That's all this type of work. Do you see what I'm saying? I met my husband 90 days. We were pregnant 90 days after that. That's all this type of work. It's all leadership. How can you lead yourself to do the impossible, fall through consistently all the time, and create the results that you want? That is all leadership. So if that's something that is something that you know you need in your life, go to joinhclnow.com. I will see you tomorrow morning. VIP, stay with me. I will see you guys tomorrow morning where we will work on cash flow tomorrow and stretching you to make a little bit of extra cash. All right, you guys. Bye. I will see you.